Hey yo, what's going on, folks? Welcome to the Phoenix Pals podcast, aka P3. This is episode 1, and I am your host with the most black Phoenix here. And welcome to my new avenue of content creation, the podcast. I've been meaning to do this for a while now. I've been wanting to get back into like the radio scene, the podcasting scene for a long time now, and I finally am able to do it. So we're gonna be talking about a lot of things here for the show, like what the show is all about. What topics are we talking about? Things of that nature. We'll get to that in a second. But for the time being, I want to be the first to welcome you to episode 1. And like I said, this is going to be something that I'm going to be releasing every weekend, or at least try to release every weekend for you guys, so you have something to look forward to. I know there are other podcasts that are going to be coming in during the week and shows during the week, but I want to give you something that you can look forward to for the weekend, for the Friday, Saturday, and Sundays and stuff like that. So let's talk about who I am and give you kind of an intro into who I am and what I do. So first things first, my name is Eric Smith, aka Black Phoenix. I am a Madden competitive player first. I am a Twitch streamer second, and I'm a content creator third. As far as Twitch streaming, like I said, I stream, competitive high level Madden Ultimate Team or the new ranked modes that are coming out. I stream those. I also do for YouTube. I do playbook breakdown. So I do the offensive playbooks, and what I do is that I break down the X's and O's to a basic degree and show you guys how you can maximize your scheme, what personnel you need to run the scheme the most effectively, tips, tricks, hints, potential route combos that you can do to maximize the offense for that specific playbook. So I could tell you that you may need a pocket pass. I may tell you that you need a mobile quarterback. I may tell you that, hey, in this game you might want a possession receiver, or you might want speed. Same thing with the running backs. You might need a speed back. You need a power back. You need a balance back. Just breaking down those type of things. Same thing with the tight end. You need a receiving tight end, a blocking tight end. Those type of things at a very basic level to get your offense to the next, to take your offense to the next level. Because I know some people, what ends up happening for them is that they get the book, they see other Madden streamers or YouTubers run the same plays over and over again, and it shows. And then they see somebody like myself or somebody else at this high level that runs different plays or runs a different book, and they always get the question, why are you running this book? This book is much better. And I tell them, yeah, you can run the same offense as everybody else, but I run a different offense and it's way more effective for my style. So that's what I do for the YouTube community. But for this particular show, what I'm going to be doing is talking about just Madden in general. Obviously, we have Madden 17 coming up. This is the fourth quarter for Madden NFL 16 as we're hitting the May going into June season. And usually around this time, like I say, you usually see Madden being on its last heels. You may get one last hurrah from the Madden Ultimate Team modes. You usually see like maybe not right now. We have the salary cap rank mode going on, draft champions tournament going on. So basically, Madden is kind of like on its Madden 16 is on its last leg. But as Madden 17 comes around the corner, we'll be talking about all the news, all the feedback that's been given. We're also going to be talking about all the community things that have been going on Twitter. So if there's something that's big, that's sweeping the community on Twitter that I see, I'm going to write about it. I'm going to talk about it on the show. And that goes just for anything, for the small stuff, if it's like something like about aggressive catching, or actually, well, I consider that more of a big thing, or if it's the small stuff like, mechanics or plays or anything like that, or if it's something big like, what do we think about Welchers? What do we think about scammers? Where do they belong in the Madden community, if they belong at all? Or, like I said, just something news related in general, we'll talk about it all in the Madden community. Now, as somebody that's a Madden competitive Madden player, I am also one that is about the constructive criticism. I am always the one that's trying to get this game to the next level. So for me, not only is this show for you guys, the Madden community, but it's also for the dev team to kind of get another perspective on, what the community is talking about and how they feel, and also my opinions. Because as y'all know, for those that actually know me and interacted with me a lot, I am a very, very opinionated person. I speak my mind, and nothing that you and I stay true to that. I speak my mind, and like I said, sometimes it may seem like bashing, but realistically, it's actually constructive criticism. If you go back and break down the things I say, such as, why does this mechanic favor, why does aggressive catching favor the receiver? Why does my opponent think it's okay to throw lob streaks 90% of the time when realistically that read is open? Or why does when my opponent throw a bad read, it goes unpunished, my defense drives a pick, swats it down, instead of being an interception, a pick six, whatever the case may be. So I talk about those things as a means to get the game better, to enlighten and bring to light issues that are in the Madden game, and try to get not like a reaction as in like, provoke the devs or something like that, but get a reaction as to from the dev team as to, okay, what is the mindset when you guys created this and that and stuff like that. Just basically, it seems simple, but it's meant to be on a higher level. But for this show, we're definitely going to be doing the same thing we do on Twitter, is keeping it constructive. Yes, there's not going to be always sunshine and rainbows when talking about Madden 16 or Madden going into Madden 17. There's always going to be flaws and stuff like that, and we'll talk about those. Don't get me wrong, but it's always going to be in the matter of constructive criticism. It's not going to just be bashing, the devs suck, da 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 da. No, we're not about that life right now. We're about making the game the way it needs to be, which to me is competitive, logical football. Force people to play the game of football, not the game of Madden that we've been accustomed to for the past year or past few Maddens on a super casual level that we've been. Bring it back to that competitive style, that grit, that grind, that chess match that Madden and football is truly all about. So that's what we're going to be talking about here. Also, this is just kind of another thing that I'm going to be doing too, is also another way for me personally to promote my brand, to, like I said, to reach you guys, to let you guys know what's going on. If I have an announcement, like I said, Twitch, or something's going on Twitch, something's going on Twitter, something's going on in my YouTube production, this will just be another avenue for you guys to know what's going on. And most likely, this is gonna probably be my more consistent option rather than YouTube, just because it's easier for me to do a podcast right now, where I'm at right now, than to do YouTube videos, because I do not have my YouTube equipment with me. My Elgato is back at home. And like I said, I'll reveal more information about myself here, but just for the time being, know that for my YouTube crowd, my YouTube following, I do not have my Elgato to record playbook breakdowns at this time. We're going to be looking to get that sent to me here shortly in the upcoming weeks. But more about myself real quick. Once again, this is an intro episode, so it's kind of going to be a little bit about me here, unfortunately. But for me, for those that don't know, I'm also active duty Air Force. I serve right now in the in the military. For those that don't know what the Air Force is, no, I do not fly planes. So no, I don't do all that. But I do serve active duty. I am currently overseas right now. Where exactly, I cannot tell you right now. But what I do hope for is that, while I'm doing this overseas thing here, that you guys continue to support me via, Twitch, Twitter, this thing, this podcast, YouTube. I ask for your continued support, and also subscribe to this podcast, because like I said, this is probably going to be my new thing going forward, and getting back into that radio scene, getting back into that scene that I'm so accustomed to before I joined the Air Force. And to do it again is just so relieving, and I'm actually happy to do it. So like I said, subscribe. There's going to be a lot more content, a lot more shows. Like I said, every weekend I'm looking to produce and release a new show. Like I said, talking about the issues going on here and there. But what I wanted to get into, and that sound actually brings me to another segment, is going to be called Sweating the Small Stuff. Now, in this section here, we're going to be actually talking about real life things, NBA, NFL, and maybe some baseball here and there, and other sports news that comes across. So that's going to be our time to just, sit and reflect on what's going on in the season. For the NBA, it's going to be a time to reflect on what's going on in the playoffs right now. And as of today, the Cavs just swept the Hawks and are going to the Eastern Conference Finals. OKC and the Spurs tied at 2-2. KD drops 40 on Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to Kevin Durant's mama. Your boy drops 40 on the San Antonio Spurs. So that series is going to be very interesting to watch going forward. Russell Westbrook and KD have just been playing a little bit lights out. I know Spurs took a game, but we'll see how KD and Russ react and see if the rest of the team can pull their way so OKC can win the series. So that's going to be very interesting to see going forward. For the NFL side of the house, draft hype. Now that the draft hype is kind of cooled down now, I got to ask the question, how did your team draft? For my teams, I am a Detroit everything fan. So I am a Lions fan, Tigers fan, Red Wings fan, Pistons fan, University of Michigan fan for those that are into college sports and stuff like that. But, how did your team draft? I think personally for us, drafting the way we did was very smart. I don't, however, agree with our selection of long snapper. That one was a little bit confusing to me as to why we picked up a long snapper, but I guess Bob Quinn, our new general manager coming over from the New England Patriots, wants to promote this competition atmosphere where nothing is guaranteed. Everything's going to be fought for. So that's going to be interesting to see how this all works out. But for the most part, I think we did a solid. I would give our draft a B+. I think the long snapper definitely brought it down. But, we took Taylor Decker, Ohio State, as our first round pick, A'Shawn Robinson from Alabama, and a few other guys here. We got another, I think we drafted a running back, another guard, a center, and a safety with our picks. So for the most part, like I said, I think we did how we addressed areas in need with the best player available, combining those two, which Bob Quinn was trying to implement when he first got here into office as general manager. So I'd say for now a B+. But let me know what your draft grade is for your teams. Let me know either on Twitter, twitter.com/TheBlackPhoenix, twitch.tv/BlackPhoenix, youtube.com/BlackPhoenixify. And with that sound, actually, we're going to be going into the next section here is what is generally called Phoenix is fired up about insert blank. So basically what I'm fired up about is the salary cap mode that's going on right now in Madden 16. Like as mentioned earlier, Madden 16 is kind of on its last leg. And the guys at EA, I believe Jake Stein came up with this mode. So the kudos to him for coming up with this mode. So if you don't know what salary cap really is basically Madden Ultimate Team, but like the name says, with a salary cap, meaning Madden Ultimate Team is usually about getting the best cards at every single position, putting them on the field, my team versus your team, and just go at it. However, the problem is it doesn't give a whole lot of advantage. It usually becomes about who has the most coin, who can actually buy the most coins, which is illegal, but some people do it. It comes more about, having 99 overall players everywhere and putting them on the field and going against, most likely teams that are, lower overall, lower skill players, and just going on about your day. But now the salary cap mode definitely evens the playing field to where a lot of teams are now going to be maybe in the 80s range. There's been rumors that some teams are 90s somehow, some way. I don't know how that works with salary cap mode the way it is, but most likely you're gonna be on even teams. You're gonna have strengths on your team. You're gonna have weaknesses on your team. But the beautiful thing about this is that this is built to your style. This isn't gonna be some copycat stuff. Not everybody's gonna have golden ticket Calvin Johnson. Nobody's gonna have golden ticket Des Bryant or golden ticket Ed Reed or golden ticket John Randall running it around the field, or Ultimate Legend John Randall, I should say. We're not going to have those. Like, everybody's going to have maybe one or two all-star players, maybe even three if you can fit them in. And the rest are kind of just like okay to average. And then you obviously going to have some weaknesses where players are not as good, or bronze players. So you're, like I said, no team is the same. I haven't ran into somebody that has maybe the same player or same, player at a set positions. For instance, I see a lot of Jared Goff rookie gold cards floating around, but I haven't seen anybody have like the same exact composition as another team, which, like I said, for me as a competitive player and as somebody that enjoys variety, whether it's, teams or playbooks or anything like that, that brings a smile to my face because, like I said, it provokes individuality, and my team is this team. This is the way I want to construct it. So there's a couple of likes and dislikes that I do like, or there for the salary cap mode. One thing that I like, and I harped on this earlier, is just variety. Variety of cards that you can use. It makes every card that is released in MUD from now and the cards released in the future actually mean something, actually have a value. So, for instance, every card that is released in MUD from now on has a number attached to it, and that number is the cap value. that you can have. The cap value at the max is 1,000. However, the dislike is for me is that I wish it was a little bit bigger, maybe 1,250, maybe give us 1,500, maybe for next year. But for the most part, I think 1,000 is kind of a safe number. I'm pretty sure they're looking at, the guys at EA are looking at it and probably will adjust it maybe a little bit higher. But yeah, going back to the cards, yeah, every card has a value. Every card has, every card has a cap value, and every card has value, meaning a worth in Draft Champions mode. So, for instance, you could be a run first player, a run heavy player, and get guys that are run blockers and get like the best running back you can afford right now, which I believe is golden ticket Marcus Allen's like the very best card you can get right now. I don't know what his cap value is off the top of my head, but say for instance you are really focused on the run, so you may sacrifice a little bit on the quarterback. Maybe you get like a really stand still pocket passer, like a gold Carson Palmer or something like that. But you get Marcus Allen, and you get like guys that can you build an offensive lineman or build O-line that's centered around the run blocking. Maybe you get a tight end that can run block, which are very expensive, by the way, if you're going to do that route. And then for the receivers, maybe you're just more of a, you want burners out on the field. You care about speed or something like that. So you get maybe a couple of guys that got like, high 90 speed, maybe high acceleration, high agility, those guys, and you just go. And that's your style, like kind of like Chip Kelly. Just use spread offense, inside zone, read option, verticals to beat you over the top and hope you can keep up. Otherwise, GG type of deal. Or maybe, for instance, you're more of a defensive guy. Maybe you're more, I'm going to beat you with defense first. Defense wins championships. Offense puts butts in seats type of mentality. So you go back, and you find the best defense you can find for 3 or 3-4. It's highly unencouraged to build a hybrid scheme on defense because it's very expensive to do though, and find players that can fit both 4-3 and 3-4. By the way, but let's say you're a 3-4 guy like myself, right? And you want like the biggest, baddest defense out there to step on the field. Like as soon as you step on the field, the offense should fear you type of mentality, right? So you spend money on getting really good defense, 3-4 defensive line with a really good, strong nose tackle, really powerful DNs. You get some solid linebackers that could play some solid coverage and rush the passer. And say, you're not much of a linebacker guy, but you're more of a secondary guy. So you spend the extra cap that you do have on secondary players, getting very good corners, very good safeties, and basically are playing to win on defense and then figure it out as you go on offense. So, it, like I said, that promotes individuality. And like I said, really brings into focus, what are you? What kind of player are you? Defense? Are you offense? Are you balanced? Are you run first, pass first? Just gonna blitz you until the cows come home. Gonna play it back, make you dink and dunk all your way down the field. Like it's very, very interesting to see how people build their teams and everything like that. Now the golden question I did ask people is, when I was kind of in retirement of Madden 16 and getting things going for my overseas move was, is this the future of competitive Madden? Is this the new wave of the future? Is this something that we as a Madden community have to look forward to every year? Is this what the tournament scene is going to be based around, that and draft champions? And for the salary cap mode, at least especially for the guys I talked to, the main answer, a resounding answer I got was yes. This is the future. This is the mode that we're going to play. This is the mode that's going to be the new tournament scene, and for good reason too. Like looking at it and breaking this down, like I often do things, we take in, kind of community, like I guess I want to say a whole mix of communities. I mean, we have something from the ranked guys, because the ranked players say that MUT is all about the 99 cars. We don't want to deal with 99 ratings all over the field. The MUD guys are saying, this kind of balances all the teams so that you don't feel at a disadvantage when you're playing against a higher overall team, like 99 team, and I only got like a 90 overall team. I don't want to feel at a disadvantage. And so for this, like I said, adding in the team building aspect, what kind of player do you want to be aspect, and what you end up finding is that it's just a perfect harmony, a perfect bliss of everything that competitive Madden should be about. Fair, even playing field with building your team your way. Now, the only knock on this mode, another knock on this mode for me personally, is that you can't really set, like in ranked matches, players in the tournament scene are used to setting your audibles. Before the match begins, you take the time, your opponent goes away and looks, off to the distance or something like that. You can set your audibles and everything like that. In this mode, you can't. Same thing with MUT, same thing with Draft Champions. You cannot set your audibles, but you can, however, pick the playbooks that you want. So it's not like a restriction or a ban or anything like that. Another thing that I found disturbing about this tournament personally from Matt Marcoux that says that turbo blitzing is allowed. For those that don't know what turbo blitzing is, I have no idea what it is. It's basically when you set up your defense. You're basically setting up a blitz to get to your opponent. However, you're going to be usering your D-line, and basically, I don't know how this particularly works, but I'm guessing what happens is you stay on your D-line, and maybe you hold the turbo button, which is right trigger or R2 if you're on PS4, and you shoot your way through the gap unrealistically, and then you get to sack the quarterback time and time again. Now, there's ways to counter it. Play action, slide protect, block running back, shoot, put a receiver tight end in the gap, and have them block, things of that nature. But for turbo blitzing to be allowed, as a competitive player, I did not like that at all. I thought that was kind of a really, really bad move or bad thing to allow in the game, because the gameplay itself, in my honest opinion, is not good. Adding on the fact that you can turbo blitz also drags this game down a bit. So that's something that hopefully in the future we don't allow. And hopefully that's something in the future that isn't even remotely in the game for Madden 17. So we'll see what happens in regards to that. But for the most part, the best players usually don't turbo blitz. The guys that make it to like the top 64, the top 16, or the final four and things like that, they don't really turbo blitz. So the best players will prevail for the most part. If not, I'm pretty sure they'll probably implement a new set of rules when it gets down to that type of thing, saying, hey, we don't want you to turbo blitz, and this game is going to be viewed in the public. We don't want that to bring our product and our name down. So that's pretty much the way I expect things to go. But like I said, for the most part, this is what is going to be. That's pretty much what I'm fired up about. Salary cap mode, Madden 16, entering the fourth quarter here, going into Madden 17. And also, speaking of Madden 17, there looks to be a cover athlete reveal soon. It's going to be this upcoming Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on SportsCenter. We get to find out who the cover athlete is going on to, or that's going to be featured on Madden 17. So I'm going to definitely be checking out and definitely going to be looking forward to seeing who it is and what new features are going to be in the mode. So thank you guys for listening to episode 1 of the Phoenix Palace podcast. Once again, if you haven't done so, make sure to subscribe so that way you guys keep getting updates and new shows when they are available. Also follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/theblackphoenix, twitch.tv/blackphoenix, youtube.com/blackphoenixify or blackphoenixify. Also, to quick note about Twitch and Twitter, the way Phoenix is spelled, it's not the normal way of Phoenix because those names were taken when I tried to create those accounts or create it that way. But for Phoenix, basically what you want to do is insert numbers where the vowels are. So, for instance, if you're typing in the word Phoenix, the way it's normally spelled, Phoenix, where you're going to be typing in numbers where the vowels are. So, for instance, when you type in that O, type a 0. When you type a E, type a 3. When you type a I in the word Phoenix, you're going to be typing the word 1. And like I said, twitter.com/theblackphoenix. Make sure to add the word the, like THE, just the. But I just say the just to make it sound a little bit better. But and same thing with Twitch. It's just regular Black Phoenix. You don't have to put the word the in front of it. And then with Black Phoenixify on YouTube, that's actually spelled the regular way. So youtube.com/blackphoenix. The word Black Phoenix and then IFY adding on to the end of it. So it sounds like Black Phoenixify. So that's how you guys can get in contact with me and view my content. Also, like I said, every weekend we are looking to establish a new episode here on the Phoenix Palace podcast. So look for it every single weekend. Like I said, once more news and information has gotten out on the about Madden 17 and everything like that, this will be a show to talk about it as the week goes on and kind of culminate everything that we've seen during the week and bring it all together and talk about it. So Thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for listening. And I will see you guys in the next episode of the Phoenix Pals podcast in episode 2. 5 Gs, y'all. Peace.